For many fans, Queen's music is an escape, a password to a world without lyrical judgments. But for Princess Diana, Freddie Mercury was the actual escape. We will tell you all about Freddie Mercury and Lady Di's intimate friendship in this video. Both of these legends died tragically, and both were too young and talented to leave this world so early. However, they knew how to take advantage of their years of life to leave a legacy that still exists today. In recent days, there has been a lot more attention to Freddie Mercury thanks to the newly released film about his life, Bohemian Rhapsody. But there are several details that did not appear in the movie, including the intimate friendship he had with Princess Diana. Remember that it was she who broke all the stereotypes by visiting infected patients in the hospital and shaking hands at a time when society knew so little about diseases that they thought it was contagious simply by being next to them. It was the year 1987, and this very young princess became the icon of the gay community. This is an anecdote that we would not have known if it had not been published in the memoir of the actress and comedian Chloe Rokos, who in turn belonged to Mercury's group of friends. The night that could be considered the craziest night of Lady Di happened in 1988. It lasted only 20 minutes. But how did it start? Freddie, Diana, and King Evert were one night at the Layers' house watching the legendary series The Golden Years while drinking champagne. These four great characters had an interesting way of having fun. They turned out the sound of the television and improvised the voices of the characters, inventing a much more daring story, laughing uncontrollably. Diana, who was 27 at times, let go of her characteristic giggles behind the cushion and asked what Freddie's plans were for that night. Freddie told her they were going to the Vaxar Tavern. Diana said that she had never heard of that place and that she would like to go with them. All possible attempts were made to change her mind, but that night she was willing to play pranks and had every intention of following them. So Freddie said, well, let the girl have fun. Royal Vauxhall Tavern was a place with the known atmosphere for many people and unimaginable fights. The media would have an endless story if they caught Diana in the middle of a brawl in a gay bar. Even at the risk of that, the princess insisted that the group had to come up with a plan. They would put her in a disguise with an Evert suit that included a military jacket, aviator sunglasses, and a leather hat to hide her hair. Upon checking her in the dim light, they saw that the most famous icon of the modern world would easily pass for a gay male model quite eccentrically dressed. With the approval of her company, they left the house for the bar. Upon entering the club, the place was full. The four were sweating profusely while one person greeted them cheerfully. Freddie described it as fabulously outrageous and strangely exciting. Their hearts were beating in their throat with each new person that was approaching them. But nobody, absolutely nobody recognized Diana. They moved slowly through the club until they finally made it to the bar. They started elbowing each other and laughing nervously like naughty children. Diana and Freddie embraced one another in victory, and the princess ordered white wine and beer to celebrate. They enjoyed her freedom for 20 minutes because more than that would be risky. On the street, everyone agreed that it had never been this fun going to the bar. They stopped a taxi and took Diana to Kingston Palace. After that, the princess and Mercury remained friends until the death of the singer in 1991 because of an illness, HIV, that he suffered from. Diana became the patron of the National AIDS Trust after Freddie's death. devoting her efforts to raise HIV awareness and prevention. But this was not the first time she supported this cause. As I mentioned earlier, in 1987, Diana was invented to open the first medical room in the United Kingdom for AIDS, where she was photographed shaking hands with patients despite the belief that the disease could be transmitted through human contact. 6 years after the death of one of her best friends, she also died in a car accident. She was a brave princess who wanted to live her life to the fullest, and Freddie had a lot to do with that. But not only that, she was also a woman who dared to act in the interests of those who had been forgotten, a real figure who used her social position to speak on behalf of those who had no voice. And above all, she did it with grace, dignity, and humor, refusing to break before the system that tried to silence her, before the man who broke her heart. As a vulnerable woman subjected to the public eye, Diana had to choose her friends with care, and it did not seem like a coincidence that many of the confidants were high-profile gay men. Pop star George Michael, the singer of the Queen band Freddie Mercury, or the designer Versace, among others. And of course, she embraced those who were tormented by their sexuality. Her desire to help those in need was so powerful and moving that while the homosexual men were the public enemy for many and were rejected by their friends, their families, and their country, Diana was the only one who insisted that they deserved to be loved and not abandoned in their time of greatest need. No doubt, we can understand why two of the most beautiful souls like Freddie and Diana joined together for advocating love and support. Watch our video about Queen Elizabeth II and Meghan Markle, and do not forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.